All right, great. The reason we're having this class is because there's a lot of really great Google apps within your Google account that are 100% free. And you can have as many Gmail accounts as you want. You can have one for personal, you can have one for your business, you can have one if you have a second business. You can have pretty much as many accounts as you want because every one of those email addresses are unique. So it's really easy to do. So if you're in your browser, which I hope you are, browser is either Safari or Chrome. Hopefully you're not still using IE. Some of you might still be. Or if you're using Firefox. Okay, those are your browsers. Okay, that's what's going to get you from point A to point B. So when you're in your browser, we're also going to be looking at Google Keyword Tool and Google Analytics, hopefully if we have time. Actually, those are the most important, but we are going to be spending some time on the apps because they're equally important. Gmail.com, or just go to Google, and up here in the upper right-hand corner, I'm already logged into my system, so that's why it looks like this, but I'll go ahead and log out. That way I can demonstrate exactly what it looks like to log in directly to your Gmail account. Logging out. This is what it should look like. If you go to gmail.com, you're going to have the option. So I'm going to explain these. Right here where you see the plus sign and it says you, that's Google Plus. Okay, you have to have a Gmail account to have a Google Plus account. We're going to be talking about that. Gmail, okay, that's where you can sign in or start. Images, this is basically Google Images. And again, our squares right here. That's going to be our Google Apps. If you're not seeing that information, then again, just come up here to your browser, gmail.com, and since I'm already loaded into my accounts, that's why it's showing my two accounts, but it should say either sign up or create an account. Okay, I have two, so that's why those show up. Now, if I wanted to remove one of those, if I didn't want to work in my personal, only wanted to work in my professional, I'd click on remove, and then X out of one of these accounts that I didn't want to show. But you can be logged into both at the same time and switch back and forth between two different Gmail accounts. So let's say for an example that I'm going to log into my Remax Gmail. Now even if you have those two showing, it's going to ask you to log back in so they know that it's you. When you're signing in, as you see here, it says jairsremax@gmail.com. I know it's confusing because for Main Street, which is your remax.net email address for your username, you only have to put in the first portion. But for Gmail, you actually have to put in your entire Gmail email address for your username. Once you log into your Gmail, and that's kind of what this is all about, once you log into your Gmail email address, it's going to expose all of your Google apps. Now that I put in my password, I'm going to come directly to my Gmail account. And this is where you're going to be able to see all the information. So now here's my name with the plus sign, again, Google Plus, and then my squares right here that are going to lead to my Google Apps. But if you're on an iPad, it's going to look considerably different because of the OS. If you're on a laptop, it's going to look a lot better, but if you're on your iPad, it's going to be a little bit more difficult because it's a mobile OS system. You're still going to be able to do everything on your iPad, but it is going to look considerably different because it is two different kinds of technology. You know, one's more of a desktop and the other is a mobile. If you forgot your password, what you can do, it's pretty easy because most of these come with a recovery email. So if you need help, you can always just click on need help right here. So right here, having trouble signing in. If you don't know what your password, if you don't know what your username is, you can click there and hit continue. Typically, there's a series of security questions that you'll answer. Or if you have a backup email address, most of the time that these Gmail accounts, you put in a secondary email address. That way, if you have problems logging into a Gmail account, they can send information to that alternative email address, and you'll be able to follow those steps to figure out whatever your password is. So if you want to forward, if you have a Gmail account and you're looking to forward email from, say, an AOL, most of the time, so if you're in your Gmail account and you want to go to your settings, this way you can forward mail either to another account or you can add an account. So right here where you see this little gear, that's your settings. Okay, so you need to access your settings if you want to add your AOL or Yahoo or any other account. And then right in here, click on the button that says settings. And when you're in here, you need to click on accounts and import. Add another email address you own. If I wanted all of my mail to just go to one place, and that's my Gmail account, but yet at the same time I have an EPLA address or I have a Yahoo account, I have another Gmail account, if I want everything to go to one place so I don't have to check a series of different platforms, I can click here, add another email address, and I just add that information. So now that email will be forwarded from, say, AOL directly into my Gmail account. So if I wanted to import mail from Yahoo, Hotmail, AOL, or other webmail, but if you click on import mail and contacts, then what's going to happen is you're going to be able to import the mail from here. And then if you want to also send, what you'll have to do is add that email account right here. Does that make sense to everybody? So if you want to retrieve your mail from another email database, you have to import that mail. You have to make sure that it's going to come over here. Import mail and contacts. and then send. Use Gmail to send from your other email addresses. So this is how you get and send mail from your other accounts from your Gmail account. But you still have that Yahoo address, and all the mail being sent to your Yahoo is simply forwarded over here. One other thing that I want to show you in Gmail before we move on is a lot of times people don't want to use Gmail because it threads the mail together. It doesn't isolate. It's really easy to turn that off. If you come into General, so if you can't get to this on your iPad, just write it down or just remember. If you go into General, it's called Conversation. So if you scroll down where it says Conversation View, just turn that off. It sets whether emails of the same topic are grouped together. So if you and a client have gone back and forth on 10 emails, instead of just grouping it together as one, each one of those emails and replies will be listed out as their own email. Conversation View off, separate emails. But you can turn that off just by going to your settings and then just going to General and Conversation View off. After you've made that selection, scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on Save Changes. So Settings, General, Conversation View off, Save Changes. That's all you have to do. So even if you have some emails that are grouped together right then and there, once you go back to your mail, you'll see that they're no longer grouped. Turn your thread or your conversation off. That way you can see each and every one of those emails, and then you might be able to file it a little bit differently. So if you file by client or if you file by a specific topic, it can help you identify those emails quicker. All right, so what we're going to do is if you're in your Gmail account, again, if you're on an iPad, click the More button, and that will expose all of your apps. Okay, the first thing that we're going to look at today is Google+. It's basically a Facebook for Google. It's their version of a social media network. Okay, you can connect with friends, family, acquaintances. You can explore hot topics that are trending right now. So it just allows you to be able to post pictures, post text, links, videos. You can even do a Google Hangout. Does anybody know what a Google Hangout is? Basically FaceTime for Google. So over here, and I'm just going to show you this really quickly, just because it's an important part of. Once you create a Gmail account, you automatically have an account for Google+, YouTube, Maps, Google Play, Google Drive, Gmail, all of that. All of these apps come included with your Gmail account. Okay, so it's a lot of apps and features that you basically inherit with a Gmail account. Over here on the left-hand side of the screen, this is where you have your control panel, basically. So you have your home screen. That'll show any posts that you've made. Obviously, I just have a lot of videos that I've posted. All these videos post because I post this information directly to YouTube. So since my Gmail account, my YouTube account, my Google Plus account are all integrated, anytime that I post a video to YouTube, it's going to automatically post to my Google Plus. It's going to do that for me. That way I don't have to upload something to YouTube and then come over to Google Plus and post it. It does it for me automatically. And I can also share this information from here. Okay, so I can share this post. Of course, I can Google Plus this post, but again, it's on my account already. So that's mainly for my visitors to do. A Google Hangout. So if I click on my home or my control panel and come down here to where it says Hangouts, I just want to explain this because it's a pretty cool feature. Okay, it actually allows you to be able to FaceTime with somebody. Okay, so if I'm using one of these mobile devices, video Hangouts. Okay, so if I wanted to start a video hangout with somebody, and again, anywhere, dialing anybody in the United States and Canada is free. So if I click on this, it's going to activate my front-facing camera. Logged into my Google Plus account, if I was calling somebody, then what they would do is it would send them a notification saying, you know, Jay Ayers is calling you via Hangout. Has anybody ever FaceTime before? That's exactly what it is. So you have to make sure that whomever you're hanging out with or trying to hang out with also has a front-facing camera. That's how that works. Obviously, I don't have the plug-in here, so I would have to download this plug-in, or basically sort of a widget, that would allow this feature to work on my computer. So that's essentially what the Google Hangout is. It allows you to video chat or FaceTime, as it's much more well known, with a client or a colleague, family member, whomever. I think it's up to 10 people. So you could use it in the terms of a webinar. So if you wanted to include your title people or your escrow people or your lenders, if you had a multitude of different people that you needed to all address at one time, it could be beneficial in an instance like that where you need to get a bunch of different parties at the same time. You reach out to their account, basically. So you can add them into your circle. So if you go into people, so it's the same way that it works on Facebook. You can just find people. A lot of times, I mean, every time that I come on here, they have different people that they suggest that I add into my circle that I can connect with. And in your settings, so if I come in here to my settings, it works a lot like Facebook in terms also of privacy. So which can interact with you in your post. who can send you notifications. So I can have anybody, extended circles, people in my circles, only me, or I can customize it, customize my audience, okay? Who can comment on your post? I put anybody, okay? And who can hang out with you? Basically means who can contact you through this Hangout service. So if I click on customize, they have to send me a request. All of these people have to send me a request to hang out, or I can change this to hang out with me so they could just instantly connect. I went to settings. So when I'm in Google Plus and I have my control panel right here, I've got my settings, but it might look a little bit different on the iPad. So once you're in Google Plus, you will be able to get to these settings if you're on an iPad even so. So the people that you connect with, a lot of times they just make references based on who you are. Again, it's Google, so it's basically anybody who's on Google. You can connect with people even if you don't know them. So when somebody is in your circle, that means they can see your posts. That means they can see your posts and depend on how you have your features, so it's still like Facebook. So if you put it to where only certain people can comment or only certain people can see your posts, that's how that works. But you can isolate people depending on if they're your friends, family, acquaintances, so forth. So if I wanted Terry Blanco to connect with me, what I then do is I group her either as a friend, a family member, an acquaintance, or somebody that I'm following, or I can create a brand new circle, say a colleague, a client, a coworker, something like that. So you're able to create a brand new group based on the people that you want to add to your circle. Okay? And if you don't want to add this person, there is an X next to their name where all you have to do, and that'll allow you to dismiss that person, and that way Google Plus won't ask you to add that individual to your account again. So what's hot and what's recommended? So that tends to bother a lot of people, and I don't blame you, because basically what they're doing is they're taking something that's trending, that they think a lot of people would be interested in because so many people are adding it to their profile. So if you wanted to change something that's hot, it's if it has a pair of flames in the upper right-hand corner. Where you see the fire, if you hover your mouse over that, there should be a little box that says if you want to get rid of what's hot, click on, there's a little hyperlink, I think it says what's hot, and then click on that. Yeah, you have to you stay within the box. So scroll directly down, there you go. Now click on the what's hot. So you see that gear right there, and now you get to control. So uncheck that box where the check is. If you see a little patch of flame on the right, I just don't have any on mine because I've already set that. So hover your mouse over it, you can change that information. Okay, who can send you notifications, who can comment on your public posts. So if you want to receive notifications when certain people mentions you in a post, circles, choose who to include in your circles. If you don't want people who are following you to be able to include it, just leave that out, but you can control who is in your circle. The one thing that you want to take away from this is just another way to get exposure. So since so many people have Gmail accounts, the more and more people that have a Gmail account, the more and more people they're going to add to this list of people that you can add or follow. And again, more opportunity to post information about your listings, your market area, things of that nature. Again, it's no different in terms of posting events, post a text, a photo, a link. It works almost the same way that Facebook works. It's just a Google social media network. Google Maps. Now I know sometimes people like to use Waze and things like that, and that's fine too. The reason that I like Google Maps is because it's updated quite often. And I'm not just talking about traffic, I'm also talking about locations. It can be very beneficial to pull information, and you can log in here and you can set specific parameters such as your home, your office, okay, places like that. That way if you're creating directions to send somebody, which is one of the reasons that you would definitely want to use this. I've got a Marina Del Rey office right here. I've got my work and it's titled as work, and I have my home and it's titled as home. That way if I'm traveling somewhere to say a new listing or to meet a new client and I don't know where I'm going, it's very easy to just plug in something that I've added, and you can always edit this at any time if you move office locations or if you move from a different home, and then you just type in wherever it is that you're going and you can create a route, obviously. That's the main goal. And it's going to give you alternatives. The reason this is important is because you can map this information for clients who may not be familiar with an area or perhaps that are relocating and don't know where to go. That way you can easily set this information and then come up here in your browser, copy, and just email this information out to somebody. So the good thing about this is you could have several different locations. So I've got my office, my home, and then something else. So if I wanted directions to multiple different places, all I had to do was click on add. So I'll do that again. See this plus sign right here? I can put in a third address, add destination, and then another, and another, and another. Okay, so it just depends on if I'm hitting a lot of different places that I'm unfamiliar with where they are, or if a client is unfamiliar with where those locations are, I'm able to put that information in there, and I can put in as many of those as I want. So at the bottom, I know this might be hard to see, but there is a little setting right here, so that way you can set your places. It's just this little gear right there that allows you to store information. So I click on our gear. So one thing we can do is share this map directly from here. If I click on share an embed map, it's going to give me the link and the URL, embed map. Here's my iframe. So I could put this into a website if I wanted to. It's basically source code. So when I'm sharing this link, and all I have to do, paste that information, or as they're telling me, I can copy this directly from the browser. But again, this is much shorter. Okay, it's been reduced. And then I can have the long version if I want, or again, shorten it up. Okay, so that's how you can just grab this link really quick and send it to your client or whomever. Now, what you can also do is down here, My Places. So if there are certain places in here that you want to create, so I have one for home, one for work. If you wanted one for your children, your grandchildren, whomever, your favorite restaurants, but it allows you to be able to add in a lot of places that perhaps you may use for a search more than once. That way you don't have to continually type in the same address over and over and over. It will allow you to create that address. So if it's a listing that a lot of people are interested in that may not know where it is, or if you simply just want to be proactive and you can map it for them, this is one of the things that you can do to add that information into your account. It's going to be stored right here, right where mine says home and work, and again you can have a complete list of other ones, and that will allow you to have that information stored in here. That way whenever you come into your area, you'll be able to select from either your office or your home or wherever. Just makes your life that much easier just by setting that information once. Google Drive. Now Google Drive is really important because it's basically a cloud program where you can save a lot of documents, photos, videos on the cloud, and you have 15 gigabytes of free storage. Okay, now those of you who know what that means, you understand that that's quite a bit of information you can store on there without having to pay for additional storage. Just to give you a little perspective, who has a Dropbox account, a free Dropbox account? Okay, you only get 2 gigabytes of free storage with Dropbox. So as you can imagine, you almost have 8 times the storage, actually quite a bit more storage down here, and that's where it's located. So I only have a few documents, and I've only chewed up about 1.5 gigabytes. So only 9% of my total storage for this cloud has been used. Okay, so I still have quite a bit of information that I'm able to put into my Google Drive, so it's not taking up space on my hard drive. And also, if you have the Google Drive app downloaded on your smartphone or on your iPad, that means you could be anywhere and access those documents. Again, one of the best parts of the cloud is no matter where you are, you're going to be able to access this information as long as you have a device with that app stored on there, and yes, that app is free. So you can download Google Drive onto your smartphone, or you can download it onto a tablet. So no matter where you are, you can access those documents. And that's one of the reasons that you want to make sure that you're taking advantage of these cloud programs. That way you can store a lot of data on here and always be able to access that data from wherever you are. Well, so if I go to this file right here, and I want to share, right here, so if I go to share, it says as attachment, as is. So let me show you how I did it. So if anybody ever wants to send as an attachment, you want to go to this More feature. So if I check the box next to the item I want to send, go to More, then Share, Email as Attachment. So that way it's just in there as a JPEG. If you're wanting to upload photos or a video, what you want to do is come right here to Upload, this arrow that's pointing up. Click on that. You can either upload a file or an entire folder. So if I click on Files, it's going to take me directly in here. So if I wanted to clean every one of these documents off of my hard drive to save myself space, I would be able to select all of these different pieces of loose document and be able to upload them all to my drive, and then I can delete it from my hard drive and it's there in the cloud. Google now owns YouTube, so you don't need to upload your video to your drive because you can upload your video to your YouTube account and send your videos through here. So if I wanted to send one of my videos, after I uploaded it, I would just click on it and come down here to share, and there we go. I can share through any of these social media platforms, or I can just copy and paste this, or come over here and email it to somebody. So there's no reason to upload video to your Google Drive because you have your YouTube account as well. So you can upload YouTube videos to YouTube and instead not burn memory on your Google Drive. So what I would do in my drive, if I wanted to share this document, I would come over here, go to More, Share, and so then I could just share that information. You can also create a brand new folder. You can create a brand new document, which is basically a Word document, presentation, a slideshow, a spreadsheet is an Excel. So you could actually create a document for whatever reason and save it to your drive, and then also share that same document with either a client or a colleague. Somebody has shared a Google document with you. So if you're just being shared, you don't have to save it. These are just shared files. So as long as I don't save those to my drive, it's not going to take up space. These are just shared documents that are owned by somebody else. They created that document in Google Drive. They saved it to their Google Drive, but then they just shared the link with the other people with a Gmail account, so that way I can just view that information, but I don't have to save that to my Drive account because it's a shared file. Yeah, if I star a document, something that's important or something that you want to find easily. So I'm in Google Docs right here. It's just Drive allows you to create a document in Google Docs, and then you can save it in Google Docs and then share it and edit. If I created a document and I wanted to share this with somebody, okay, so right now it's private only to me. Since I'm the owner, I can do whatever I want with it. But if I'm inviting somebody else, there's a little button down here that says can edit, can comment, or can view. So you get to control what people do with this document. So if you give them editing privileges, they can pretty much do whatever they want to this document. If it says can comment, that means that they can say, hey, I suggest you put this column over here, or maybe rename this or rename that, but they can't do the editing themselves. Can view just means they can look at it. They can't comment on it. They can't edit it. All they can do is look at it. So you determine their level of visibility and privilege before you even send that document to whomever you're sending it to. You just click on create. So if you're on the home page of Google Drive and you click on create and you just click on document. So this in itself is a Google Doc. So you can create a Google document, a Google presentation, spreadsheet. So just remember, if you are going to share something with somebody, if you don't want them changing anything, just make sure that you don't let them have editing privileges. If somebody can comment, that's not a big deal. Okay, because comments don't change the content on a spreadsheet or a document or a presentation. But if you give somebody editing privileges, then they can go in and make as many changes as you want. Now, the good thing about this is, anytime somebody changes any of the information, then the collaborators are sent an email saying that information has been changed to this document. Now, YouTube, I'm just going to go over this really quickly, just because it's pretty self-explanatory. It's exactly what you think it is. It's just where you upload all of your videos. So if you upload videos, or if you want to find videos, especially Remax videos that talk about the national housing market, you can take that information and put it on your website. So if I go to YouTube and I put in Remax channel, always the one with the balloon, and then if I find one of these videos that I want to use, I just click on that video, Remax Our Purpose, and embed. Anybody who's taken my Site Builder class knows that any of these videos on here that are public, you can use on your website by taking this source code and adding it to your site builder in Lead Street. Okay? Or you can share any of these videos. Or if you upload any videos of your that you've created or that we've created together, you're able to use this information to upload that video, and you can store that video in your YouTube account, and then you can invite people to come to your YouTube account, or you can share your video, or you can embed your video in your website. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with that video. So just keep in mind, YouTube can be very helpful if you create your own channel and you want to send people to your channel, because again, it's just additional exposure. All you have to do is go into your YouTube, and if you click on My Channel, you're able to change your banner. If you've uploaded a photo into your Gmail account, your photo will show, and all the videos that you've loaded will show down here. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube page by default. It just depends on what you decide to do with that page is up to you. Okay, so since they own Google or YouTube now, this is your channel. So if I sent this information right here to somebody, it would take them directly to my channel. So far 245 people have viewed my videos. 2 people subscribe to my channel. So if you're pulling up videos, or if you're uploading videos that you've created to your account, that'd be a good way to send people over so they could see your videos, especially if they're about a specific listing. But if you're really not doing anything with it, there's really nothing to share. Okay, so I wouldn't really share that until you're starting to build a library of different videos. Otherwise, people can just go on to, their own YouTube account and view information, whatever it is that they're looking for. But if you're starting to build a library of your listings or that'd be a good way to share that information with your clients. And you can also put your YouTube account on your Site Builder agent website. So I'm going to be doing a Site Builder class in a couple weeks, so we'll definitely cover how to take that video from YouTube and put it onto your website. It doesn't just have to be your Remax website. It can be any of your outside websites as well.